We often hear sci-fi and fantasy used interchangeably, but these two genres have their own distinct worlds, rules, and fan bases. Today, we'll break down the key differences between sci-fi and fantasy, exploring what sets them apart and why that matters for storytelling. Let's dive into the battle of genres, sci-fi versus fantasy. At their core, the main distinction between sci-fi and fantasy is in the rules they follow. Science fiction is grounded in scientific principles, no matter how speculative. Stories like Star Trek or The Martian build on technology, physics, and real scientific theories. Sci-fi asks, what if? But its what ifs are grounded in the future of science and technology. On the other hand, fantasy is driven by magic and the supernatural. Think of The Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter. Fantasy asks, what if magic ruled the world? In these stories, characters encounter dragons, wizards, and enchanted objects, operating in a world where magic is part of everyday life. World building is another area where the genres differ. Sci-fi is often set in futuristic or technologically advanced societies. Whether it's spacefaring civilizations, post-apocalyptic Earth, or futuristic dystopias, sci-fi builds on the future of human advancement. Meanwhile, fantasy worlds are often ancient or medieval, filled with kingdoms, mythical creatures, and sprawling forests. The themes also set them apart. Sci-fi tends to explore humanity's relationship with technology, ethics, and the future, asking questions like, what makes us human? Or can technology evolve beyond us? Movies like Blade Runner or Ex Machina show us worlds where AI raises ethical dilemmas. Fantasy, on the other hand, is often about fate, destiny, heroism, and good versus evil. Characters in The Lord of the Rings or The Witcher often battle against dark forces, driven by prophecies and legends. One key distinction is in how the genres approach technology versus mythology. Sci-fi thrives on advanced technology, spaceships, AI, robots, and futuristic weapons. These technologies aren't just cool gadgets. They often shape the plot and help solve conflicts. Fantasy, by contrast, draws from ancient mythologies, magical systems, gods, and legendary artifacts. Characters in fantasy often wield enchanted swords or are guided by ancient prophecies. While sci-fi looks forward, fantasy tends to look back, drawing inspiration from the distant past. However, the line between the two genres can sometimes blur in what we call science fantasy. These stories mix elements of both genres. Star Wars is a prime example. It has spaceships and advanced tech, but also mystical forces like the Jedi and the Force. Other stories, like Dune or The Dark Tower, also combine futuristic technology with more mythical elements. This blending shows that sci-fi and fantasy can sometimes coexist in a single world. So, why does this distinction between sci-fi and fantasy matter? Understanding which genre you're working in shapes the rules of the world and the tone of the story. Sci-fi challenges us to explore the limits of science and technology, often focusing on how humanity might evolve. Fantasy, on the other hand, invites us to explore magical realms, filled with ancient legends and heroic journeys. Both genres offer their own unique form of escape, but they play by different rules. So, there you have it, two beloved genres, each with its own flavor and appeal. Whether you prefer the futuristic worlds of sci-fi or the enchanted realms of fantasy, both genres allow us to escape reality, imagine the impossible, and ask big what-if questions. Now, let me ask you, are you more of a sci-fi fan or a fantasy enthusiast? Drop a comment below and let us know which side you're on. And don't forget to hit like and subscribe for more content exploring your favorite genres.